Hey everybody, it's Dune, and this is another episode of Factorio Megabase. Last episode, we worked on rebuilding rocket control units in addition to quite a bit of maintenance. We went around and removed a lot of the blinking lights. Now, this was a solar we actually started because our advanced solar is more efficient. It was more efficient to do a partial build of one of these cubes than to leave the old original vanilla solar panels in place. So I'm going to work on this episode actually. We've been having problems with power. As I continue to build, we're just using so much power. You look at our build, it's 22 gigawatts. I think this bar is a little misleading because we get much more in this, and we start having power problems. This is interesting. I don't think I've noticed this. TJ, terajoules, pepajoules. I don't know. It means something. We should go over the build. What needs to be done to make advanced solar panels. It's not terribly complicated. Regular solar panels, circuits, steel, and copper. Now, we might cringe a little bit at the steel requirement. But it's not going to be, this build's not going to be, how's the right way of saying it? A high demand item. Once you get the power up, you don't really have to maintain it. You don't have to keep producing a whole lot more of them. And then elite solar panels, more steel, and productivity module. So we can build this all in one build. We don't need to we already make solar panels for various things. Satellites was the main reason. And so we can make the advanced solar panels and then convert them into elite solar panels. We can look at my rudimentary build, and it has no power because we have a power switch controlling whether it's active or not, and that's only active if we have enough space size. Which we've been slowly gaining on, actually. Look at that. We got 6,000, which is, we've been hovering at like 0. But we've been catching up on low density structures. If this continues to catch up, we might not need to do the solar build. It'd be kind of nice to have it, but at the same time, if this continues to work, because our low density structures we were catching up on. I think the last I looked, we had like 20,000. So yeah, 19,000 average. And at the beginning of yesterday, we had like 1,000 average. So it's definitely on the mend. And that's because of various factors. The satellites, which required quite a bit, had backed up. And space science is always going to continue to demand it, but it had backed up as well. And it was really the rocket control units, which was the lag, which we hopefully fixed yesterday. So, I don't know. I kind of... this is a long backup of trains, but it's not stuck. They're just backed up. These crossing tracks are kind of difficult, especially if one of these trains wants to make a hard turn, which this kind of looks like it does, except for here, and this wants to make there. So they're a little difficult, but nothing to worry about, I don't think. So to make that build, we really just need copper, steel, circuits, and solar panels, and level 1 productivity modules. So the level 1 productivity modules might require a build on their own. I mean, it's ridiculously expensive to create like a speed module build. This is the level 1 speed module build. It would be the exact same thing. You know, green and red circuits to make whatever level 1 module. And, you know, do that. Again, let's check our circuits. 160,000. That's been actually dropping. I'm actually semi-concerned that this is not keeping up with our new science build. And blue circuits have also dropped. It was at roughly 900,000 total. Now it's at like 600,000. But we do need more power, so just a little. I mean, obviously we could put more nuclear, but I'm really trying to go all solar. My UPS is a concern, and you know, game latency. We look at this. Really, it's entity update is the biggest draw on, you know, the processing. You know, out of the 43 or whatever, you know, 40 of it's the game. You know, YARM is probably the mod that, you know, keeps track of all my mines. That's somewhat expensive. Trains, you know, 6, 7. It's not terrible, even though I have like 400 some trains. It's entities, and of course, as I build more, you know, that's you know, draws more demand, and so that's why solar is kind of the way to go. Is because the way I've heard it described, to the game engine, 1 solar panel and 10,000 solar panels are the same thing. It's just the value of that one is worth more when there's, you know, more quantity of that solar panel. So it's kind of a good reason to go all solar. Well, really the reason I limited this was solar panels and accumulators. Like if my space science here wasn't keeping up, but I'm bringing in solar panels, and I could easily bring in a train of accumulators now, which is certainly an option. To compensate, it would certainly be an easier thing. I mean, we have the level 1 modules. Are we making a ton of them? I mean, we got 200 on hand. I'm actually more inclined to run another accumulator train up here than building a whole separate build for outposts, you know, a whole ton more entities, when we've already kind of got the build and we just have to bring in supplies for it. So we literally could just duplicate this guy. except for this. We'll dupe. Technically don't even have to have it up as high, but just change these signals. Remove these two. Accumulators, I believe, are AC, right? AC. This is named this one. SP unload. AC. Present an AC. Load. Alright, this turned out to be way easier than I was thinking. So if we want to take them over to built anything with belts in a while. Yeah, I suppose I could have left that. I think I have, no, I don't have a circuit on these. Yeah, I'm just going to delete those. Which means, well, at least as soon as that train shows up, should be any time. I need to worry about it too much. Satellites don't require too many. Let me go over here. 130,000 accumulators on hand. Hopefully it should be fine. Science production's running at 3.3 thousand. Yeah, I guess it's not our accumulator train. Actually, one of the things I thought about doing also would mean setting up a couple new trains. Is put in a stacker for these guys. But it would also mean I was thinking, you know, I'd somehow put the stacker right here. Because, you know, this lake's just in the way for that. There's no way to put a double length train, you know, in here somehow, because this thing goes right to the tip of this curve, length of the train. I guess ideally they both have their own stacker. So exit, you know, kind of I oops. Change this up a little bit. Maybe it'll give me some room. Length of track, which I have a single length. Okay, I figured I was going to need to bend you. That's really like, yeah, circuits and entrance for both these guys. quarry so I can get some more train parts. Slowly gaining on this space science. Train now. Should copy this one when it gets here. Is it that guy? No, that's rocket control unit. Which, how are we doing here? I just built this yesterday. 13,000 in one and 1,000 in the other. That's the way I have it built. Is the train just goes to the first station that has supplies. So that one just got supplies, and so the train would show up there, even though this one's got like 13,000. Damn it, where's our train? It. Right, just slip this guy in there. That wasn't him. He's on the way, though. So I was kind of thinking maybe I ought to start tearing up some parts of my system that really are just consuming power and processing. So finish 560,000 circuits and or cables, 700,000 circuits, a million. And this red and green signs could also go. Just gotta be careful I don't yank power. Shadow. Now I have two LDS trains. Neither one has shown up. They're roughly passing each other. How's storage doing? Doesn't seem to be crying about it. I don't think we need to stand around here anymore. It's kind of sad to tear up something like that. That's probably one reason I've done it. Like it's like your first circuit build. It's been there since the beginning of the game, kind of thing. Do want to watch this a little bit. Like, why aren't you guys working? Productivity modules? What does accumulator ones need? Or accumulator. Advanced accumulator needs batteries. We'll take a little closer look at this. Maybe I need to ship in batteries too. I'm hoping by there's batteries. At least here there's batteries. And there's plenty of batteries on the exit. accumulators. What are you needing? Oh, you're already maxed out, that's why. You need red circuits. Just 2? You're only requesting 2? Why isn't red circuits delivering? Because I disabled that. Very interesting. Because I thought I'd pull it apart. So that's right here. Because these things are coming in by train, it really made no sense to keep these built. But unless I want to fly them up from, say, here, which is quite capable of doing, that's really not the smart way to do that. I like to kind of keep my trains even. But we can do... I'll put priority right. What's this guy powering? Nothing. So if you put the output priority as something that isn't carried on the belt, then that side is empty. So you don't waste any product. When you're merging 2 lanes. If we're really getting rid of this, let's just get rid of this. these are working again. It looks like they are. They're just missing red circuits. Extremely so. But over time, I mean, 1 a minute, I suppose, isn't horrible when you consider that once you set them up, they just sit there. Alright, well, I guess we're not going to build that, so we need some kind of check things out and see how we're standing. I mean, do I preempt to build another red circuit? Iron plate has dwindled in the north. It has not kept up with our new demands. Got a few trains waiting. In the south, we're doing fine. We've got plenty of ore trains sitting there. But we only have 60,000 on hand. Copper in the north is 350,000. But we don't have a whole lot of copper trains just sitting there. It's funny, I got that 500 copper there. It was worthless for a time, but now it's not really. Kind of worth it to get it out of there. And in the south, we have definitely more ore trains than pick up, and we've got over 200,000 average still there. And let's see. Let's look at some trains here. So this outpost needs kind of replacing. It's all been mined up. We looked at it last episode, and so we had 3 miners left. Now we only have 1. I think we should do... I don't know. Either this and this, or, I mean, this requires moving some track. And we have the copper there. I kind of, I mean, obviously we could put something else there. Could just straight up go for something else like this guy. Where's that? I have a dividing line which is for right here, so I need to kind of think about whether I'm doing north or south, or that would be a kind of a good one to do. That way we have an area to build at. Let's go after that. Northwest 2, 4 south. And that's a south one, iron. It's a northeast iron, but that's still got 100,000, which is roughly $1 million. this up a little bit more. How am I? Well, obviously I just picked up a whole ton of green circuits, so we don't need. We got like 100,000 on hand, so. Know exactly how that was built. Let's grab a little concrete, fill in this gaps. Oh, this is a dead end here. Both of these are dead ends. Alright. This copper was brought in just for that circuit build. So we don't have to empty it completely. It's not hurting anything, I don't think. I don't know, I could always bring it back. Needed it. Let's go with the underpinning, taking. Okay, where are we going again? Right here, northwest 2-4 south. We need some bots if we don't have any. These waypoints are super handy to have around your base. Solar's coming. We've built about 40 of those since accumulators since we reactivated it. So putting all speed modules here really didn't help because now these aren't moving and those are. Surprising steel hasn't really caught up. Latency structure, we got actually a steel train sitting here, not doing anything. And we only set these to watt supplies when it was least under average. Average 23K, so 2's at 22. And we're definitely going up. So even though it's, you know, these guys could be at outposts, it's not terrible they're not. I mean, on hand we have tons of supplies that, except we don't have any steel at this one. So I'm not quite sure why one's sitting prettier than two. Alright, we've arrived. Is this an outpost that's empty too? Alright, we need to label you as empty. At least all their shells are gone. It's something we could almost tear it up right now. I might wait, but let's look at coverage. Artillery coverage, plenty. That's not hurting. Oh, we probably built either this one or that one based on this old one. Okay, so I mean, this is a big 3 mil, which is roughly 34 million. Let's, so we do a something like so. I wouldn't think we need it. This is iron ore. I mean, I'll put an exit this way, but I don't think it's going to be needed. And then kind of crazy to have this mini train stacker, but you know what? We don't need it. Yeah, we don't need it. We're only going to have like 3 trains coming here. Tops. They can stack on their own track. I mean, that's enough track right there. Hold 3 trains. I can't think of it. No. So we just need a few signals in here, just so multiple trains can get in, no problem. And then deconstruction chest, a constructor to do that work. What are you staking from me? Eat that. Alrighty. Kind of a funky sparse spot. This is empty. Except is that everything there? For the sparseness, I wasn't sure if it was gonna be. I can connect those all at once, but so iron ore 99, almost to 100. 99, northwest 2, 4 west. And let's move all of these trains to permanently. And when this train gets here, we'll be able to for surely pinpoint where signal should be. I don't like these poles. Circuits, so that's okay. Because if the pole's off a space, you can actually put signals there, so when the train leaves, the next one in line can move on up. Right, so right there. This outpost. We got. I don't think we need a train car to take with this. That's radar. Wonder how needed it is. Apparently needed somewhat. Forgetting to add radars to my inventory, so I'll just handcraft some, and bots will resupply me with the raw materials when I get back. God, is he gonna crash into me? No! Darn it. I didn't want him to hit that signal. I'll pull up that signal. Okay, let's fix that. Oh, shoot. We need to go back there. I could put this. I suppose that's fine. Trains are coming there at 3. What's this guy doing? That's a long way to go. There's 2 trains that are serviced by this. Surprising it's still cranking, but this one's got like 100,000 yet. Science would be better. Low density structure. 2 trains. Yep, up to 11,000. We're at 7 to start an hour ago. So I think we need to do something about iron in the north. We got 7 trains, and what we could do, convert more of the steel to use iron ore, which of course means mining more iron ore, and then have less, iron plate trains coming here. Clue on how well this is balanced is if there's any of these grayed out. It's occasionally these steel ones might not be making enough iron plate to keep the steel going all the time. It's not a ton of them. Seems to be roughly okay. I don't think the need for iron plate in the north is based on not enough ore. Showing we have 13 ore trains in the system. Getting the trains out of here seems to be a little difficult, though. See, this one wants to come down and back this way, so one of the things I was trying to do early on was try to keep the trains from wanting to do that. But if they do want to do that, then this one wants to kind of be a big loop as well. This really needs an exit this way. Let's kind of go figure that out. It's not terribly complicated. Just draw this right there or something. But what about the trains come from this direction? So we need to kind of bring this over. Well, they gotta merge sometime. Oops. See, that's what I don't want. This guy's coming to go in here, so now he's got to come up here and then make a hard left. That's what I don't want, and that's one of the reasons why I didn't really give trains that option. That guy's doing it too. And it just makes these intersections even busier if more trains are making hard turns. could kind of mitigate that a little bit. Demand that any train coming this way has to skip that intersection. Straight track before hitting that. Get a chain signal in there. And could use a bit more signals on this side after the intersection. Yeah, but I really have too much built to do that. And the 4-lane tracks I've seen other people do, they don't seem to really increase things. They just make things wider, and then what they have is a lot of, okay, well, let's move over to here, and then let's move back up to here. And literally I was watching, I don't know Clown Town's reasoning, but I was watching his stream the other day, and literally on his personal train, his personal train kept alternating, between the same tracks going the same direction, and it didn't really seem to any rhyme or reason to that. I don't know. It's definitely a thought. It's really like, oh my god, my iron's really backed up now. Wow. That's a problem. That should be a chain signal. And probably should have a chain signal before that one. Heading south. Kind of crazy. We just had like 13 ore trains on hand, and now showing like 3. So since we increased science 2 days ago, yeah, put a huge crunch on iron. Copper, it's okay. So we need another iron build, which I've been saying for a while that we're probably really don't want this iron build here anymore. It's right in the middle of the base. At the, when it was initially built, it was okay, but it's really like all the ore trains come to it and then go back out, and iron trains come in now from the outside to it, back out. I don't know. And I kind of think a smaller, say 4 outpost is easier to take care of. You could have 2 of them, over here and over here or something. And the trouble is distribution. Like, how do you control? I mean, literally, I think you have to have just like maybe iron plate trains come in from your smelting facilities, and all they do is come in, drop off, and then other iron trains, plate trains pick it up. I haven't really looked into that. But it would be roughly something like, so you have offload. Can you have, best you could have would be like a long arm. Something like this. I mean, I have primary in and primary outs, like at the outposts, like iron ore in, iron plate in, and then they feed in, and then they have an out rail as they come out of the outpost. So once it's on that lane, a new one can come in. I used to run that all, like they all use the same track, and I definitely found that was slower, less efficient. So, as soon as this gets past this signal, this train can now come in here. So, I'd say route those other trains down here, but this only has 46,000 average, so it's keeping, I wouldn't say it's keeping up, but it's, I might need to, well, I definitely do need to build some sort of a new outpost to do iron smelting. I don't think throwing more ore at either of these facilities is really the right idea. Well, and we knew activating this new science build was going to break things. So it's just a matter of when. First to go was steel, and now it's iron. And if iron's backed up, then it's going to be circuits next. Green circuits followed by red, followed by blue. Actually, red circuits is slowly dwindling. I expect that to break soon. Be out. I mean, it's not like it doesn't have supplies. So maybe a couple new outposts there would fix that. Just needs more processing. says, well, when another train going by doesn't for somewhere will block the primary output input. Yeah, I getcha. For me, it seems like I need undergrounds, but or for trains stop doing 180s. Where was you coming? But, I mean, I don't really have any backups. Occasionally, this one lags a little bit because of trains doing stupid 180s. I used to have 180s into here all the time. Train would come down here, make a 180, and then come back in. That's why I broke this track here. No, it's not. It seems to happen from time to time. The only way to really fix that is to restart the stream. So, kind of as soon as you get that, I can restart it.